guys, we're going to try something a little different today. So you should already have your section 1.3 reading guide done. If you do not, you need to stop the video and go back into your textbook and read section 1.3 before you watch. But something I would like to point out really quick before we really jump into the notes is that an angle is formed by two rays, also called the sides, with a common endpoint called the vertex. Those vocabulary words are going to be really, really important as we jump into this section, okay? The rest of the reading guide you should be able to fill out from your notes, so we are not going to go through it in the video. If you take a look at page 21 in your packet, that's where we're going to start. We are going to do this Tell Me Everything You Know About the Figure together in class tomorrow before we go over your homework. So we are going to jump down to the bottom of page 21 right now. And we're going to look at these examples. Name the vertex and sides of the angle, then name the angle 4 different ways. We know that the vertex is the common endpoint that they have. So the vertex is going to be point F. All right, the sides of our angle always have to be rays. So we need to start at that common endpoint, start at F, and then we're going to go out one direction. So this one is going to be FG. And remember your notation, you have to have the ray, the line with the arrow pointing to the right above it, your two letters. Otherwise it's not a ray. Then for our other one, we're going to go the other direction. So we're going to go FE for our second ray. Those two rays together make up our angle. All right, so we can start out nice and easy by just calling it angle 1, right? Putting a number in there makes it super easy. Then we don't have to worry about what order those letters are going in. We can also sometimes call it just simply angle F. All right, we can only do that when it's one single angle like this. When there's a lot going on, like for example in the picture above, we cannot just call this angle A because there's a lot going on at angle A. Are you talking about this angle, the whole thing? So you can't do it when there's multiple rays coming out of that endpoint. But right here, we've only got the two rays coming out, so we're okay. We can also name the angle using 3 different letters. You have to start on one of the sides. You cannot start at the vertex. The vertex always has to go in the middle. So we know that F has to be in the middle. E, F, G would be one of them. And then we can go the other way as well. We can go G, F, E. All right, but it's really important. You should put stars by these ones and remind yourself that the vertex has to be in the middle. All right, so if you're not just using one letter to name it, that one letter is the vertex. If we're using 3 letters, then the vertex has to be the one that's in the middle. All right, then we want to take a look at number 2. Name the vertex and sides of angle NKM. So the first thing we are going to want to do is follow this hint right here. We're going to want to actually draw a picture of it. So draw yourself an angle on your page. And we know that this common place that they meet is the vertex, right? Well, the vertex is going to be the one that's in the center. That's our vertex right there. All right, so point K is our vertex. Our other 2 letters can go on either side, it does not matter, but one of them is going to be N, one of them is going to be M. And again, when we're naming our sides, we're looking for rays. So common endpoint is K, one side goes towards N, and the other side goes towards M. So ray KN and ray KM are the 2 sides of our angle there. All right, should be pretty straightforward, shouldn't be too big of a deal. Go ahead and flip to the next page, and you are going to need your protractor. So if you don't have it, you need to pause the video and run and grab it, because you need to actually measure these angles with me, okay? So you guys probably have a much smaller protractor than I do, but bear with me, okay? We're going to get the same angles, so it doesn't matter. We are going to want to extend the sides of our angle first, because if your protractor is bigger like mine, if we try and measure this right now, those sides don't actually reach anything on my protractor. So use the flat side of your protractor to extend out the sides of your angle. Oops, sorry guys. There we go, that's better. All right, and then you should see this spot right here on your protractor. Inside that open dot there is where you're always going to place the vertex of your angle. All right, so when we look at this one, here's my vertex right here. All right, I want to take the dot and put it over my vertex, and then this side needs to line up. That's why I had to extend my side. I don't want to start measuring the angle from here because 0 degrees is right here on my protractor. So I need to line it up with one side of my angle. And then I want to look and see where it's actually going through. It's going through the protractor right here. Well, it's between 50 and 60, and it actually goes straight through 55 degrees right there. So you should be using your protractor right now and check to make sure that you get that that angle is 55 degrees. Okay? Now we need to identify whether this angle is acute, right, or obtuse. So hopefully you guys learned from your reading guide that an acute angle is something that is less than 90 degrees. A right angle is equal to 90 degrees. And an obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. I don't know where 180 was coming from. I'm sorry about that. So this is less than 90 degrees. We know it's an acute angle. That should be something you guys are definitely familiar with. Cool? All right, let's measure this other one. So again, the first thing you're going to want to do is extend your sides because we want to be able to use our protractor accurately. So extend both sides of your angle. On this one, you might have to go on to your other page. It's okay. All right, so let's line it up. Again, find your vertex and make sure that you line up your vertex, and you want one side to be lined up here. All right, so since this is where we're starting, we are going to want to measure this angle. We're going to go all the way over to here. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention this on the other one, but I am going to mention it now. Since we are starting on the right side, we have to look and decide if we're looking at the inside or outside of our protractor. I want to start where it's 0 degrees. So in this case, the numbers are getting bigger on the inside. I don't want to look at the outside numbers. Okay, so when I look here, I start at 0 degrees. I want to go all the way over to here. This one is between 110 and 120. And so we're going to look up here, and we can see that it goes through 115 degrees. All right, so you should be able to measure that with your protractor and get it to be 115 degrees also. 115 is greater than 90 degrees, so we know that that one is an obtuse angle. All right, so it's very important as to whether you're looking on the inside or outside of your protractor. I'm sorry that I forgot to mention that. You always want to start where it's 0. So whichever side you have lined up with one side of your vertex, you have to look at the inside and outside. See over here, the 0 would be on the outside, and we would measure the outside angle then. Okay? Now we are going to draw our own angle, GEO, that measures 55 degrees. The first thing you're going to want to do is, first of all, move my book so you guys can see. Sorry. We want to draw angle GEO that measures 55 degrees. First thing you want to do is identify where you want your vertex to be, and we're going to draw one side of our angle. And I always just go out to the right because it's easier. All right, there's one side of my angle. All right, remember, one side is going to be a ray. In this one, you should be able to look at that and identify that E is going to be your vertex. So I'm going to put an E right there, and I'm going to call this first side G. You don't have to. You could call this one O. It doesn't really matter. Okay, but now that I have one side, I can line up my protractor. So I want to put the dot on my vertex right here, and I want it to be lined up. Remember, I don't want it to be up here. I don't want it to be below it. All right, I want it to be perfectly lined up. And again, since I am going to start from this side, I have to look at my inside numbers. So I want to find 55 degrees on the inside. So I want to go over to here, and I'm going to make a dot at 55, or usually I make a little line. All right, now I just have to connect my vertex to that point that I just found. Again, use your straight edge. It's a ray, which means I need an arrow, and I have to actually label that side. That needs to be my other side. That is O. All right, so this angle right here, we just drew it so that it measures 55 degrees. If you are having trouble using your protractor, as soon as you are done watching the video, call me over. I will answer any questions that you guys have. It's really important that you make sure you are using it correctly and that you know whether to look on the inside or the outside. So feel free to call me over and ask questions or ask in class. And hopefully you guys will do okay. Your homework for tonight is the section 1.3 day 1 practice. So in your packets it's page 23 and 24. Once you are done watching the video, you can go ahead and get started on your homework. I will see you guys later. Bye.